interviewed Miss Tijo, she said there are a lot of people who still think that contemporary hip hop still pushes women into a corner. It's either you embrace, you know, being a sexual being and being kind of hyper sexy, or you push it the other way, and that there's no middle ground for women. I think that's also a big issue that goes on in the real world, and that we talk about a lot in using social media. And I think that just goes to show that even like without like knowing like that maybe that if the artist isn't on social media so much and they see that that's such a big issue on social media, they still notice it in the music industry. And yeah, so that's just a connection between social media and like music.
Okay, yeah. So I agree with Caitlin like about that, and like I feel like that has like that's like question one, and like girls like to say like that they don't like how girls are presented in the industry, but like then like other girls still like to hear that type of music, and then like the ones that are like more conservative and like are more about their music, they don't even get as many plays. And not saying that that matters to them, but like they're not mainstreamed as the ones that talk about other things that aren't serious or like have any like you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah, kind of going off what like Jemai said about like how like her songs obviously like apply to a lot of people, like because especially with like the pushing women into a corner thing, it's like that's such a big issue I feel like today, and so that's why like so many people like it, cause and that also kind of applies to number 3, because like if a lot of people look or a lot of people listen to it and look at it and whatever, and like it could possibly like help the issue, you know, and like bring awareness to it, and then like maybe people could you know, try to fight for that issue or something like that. So
Let me get, and then we'll go back.
I was going to make a, sorry. I was going to make a quick point earlier when we were talking towards social media. Also, I feel like it can have a more, like, not necessarily superficial, but I don't feel like it has to be as deep as, like, reaching out towards social issues. I feel like hip-hop can just be in social media, and you can, like become more aware of hip-hop, like, with, like, Instagram stories, and you can, like, share, like, music and stuff, and you can expand your music tastes through social media, so I just thought I'd say that.
They learned nothing else in this class. It's hand
coordination.
So for number 3, how can music be used to make social progress amongst oppressed people? And like Mr. Joe said, it's like the concept about to keep it real, it has been so manipulated, I guess, like by the system. And like that makes me think of like there's a song by NWA, and it's like talking about the police, and like I mean it, like the song, it told a story, and then like it sparked a movement of like how the police treat like black people.
This was in the 1980s.
Yeah, back in the day. It's still present.
What Emma said, I think she said something about, I was like,
like the like social progress, like the song applies to people, and then people could try to change the
yeah, so even if the song doesn't bring, if it's not a positive song, and more than like, and multiple people feel the same way about how the song, the particular song, is like bringing something negative, like it's not making anything like better, like it's just like feeding into it's like feeding into an issue, even if the song doesn't, like, if it's not empowering, if it's negative, then the people can still use the song to spark another conversation.
Yeah.
Like we spoke about earlier, I feel like that we wouldn't know about a lot of stuff that's happening in the world without hip hop because we don't really like see it on the news, and half of us don't even watch the news. And like on social media, when we do see things, it's like things that have already happened. So it's kind of too late to even talk about it for them.
I'm gonna keep first.
So back to what Harley was saying about NWA, I think they're the perfect example of how through their songs, every song it talks about their struggles basically, and their experiences with basically the corrupt. I don't want to say corrupt, but just like what is a good word? The unjust police. The unjust police, and like they describe it into detail in their songs, but like in the movie Straight Outta Compton, you can like see it visually basically, like not only from when they became NWA, but all of their lives before basically. So yeah.
Okay, going to what Jalen said and what we were talking about earlier about the fact that music kind of tells us the news that the real news like doesn't tell us. It's also the way that like hip hop portrays it. It just has more meaning versus like, for example, like Taylor Swift with her song like about like gay people and like discrimination against gay people. The fact that it was more like poppy and like fun didn't get the message through. Like if you read the lyrics, she only did like maybe 2 things that like did anything for that like that did anything to like try to get the message through. Versus hip hop, the whole song is dedicated, like every lyric is dedicated to get like what they believe is like the issue, and like they take on like things that not everybody can talk about because like I'm not saying anything wrong, but like everybody knows like the problems with the gay people but like again the way Taylor Swift portrayed it wasn't like exactly meaningful. Versus hip hop would talk about something that like is just more underground, but then bring it up for everyone to realize like that is a problem. And then the way they say it, the way like they have like soul and feeling to it is how they know it's such like a deep situation that we need to take care of.
Yeah, like they're like good storytellers, I guess you could say. Like agreeing with Stella, like even like from like they like choose like their beat and like their like cadence of the song and all this stuff, like just like their style, like it makes you feel a certain way. Like when like it has like a piano in the back, but like they're saying like hard topics, like it just makes you like think about it more and stuff. Like
Also, I feel like in pop music versus hip hop, I feel like in hip hop there is more meaning, kind of like because they make their music. When we're in pop music, there's like writers that make their own stuff and they just produce it. Like so it doesn't mean as much to the artist. Whereas in hip hop, they like write the song, they produce it, and it like has a more personal meaning to it. But in like pop or a lot of other genres, they're just doing it to make money a lot of times. So.
Do you think Keegan, that people in your generation know the difference right away?
between
Like not everybody looks
for substance in their music.
Sometimes
I
you
feel
can
like
hear it in
maybe.
their voice. If
Yeah.
it's like repetitive.
And you can't have someone someone else write
Write
your
your
own
story.
You don't
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
it, like it's,
Yeah.
and then we can't feel it either.
Yeah, because they don't know your life. You'll be able to better explain your own story.
And if
Like,
they do, like you can't feel it as much.
exactly.
Like when someone says like they're sad, you can't really feel it for them. So you don't get sad with them, but you're sad for them.
Right.
And so when someone is singing
Right.
about that, they don't feel it, they're just telling it. So it's
Right.
like a story, but they're not feeling their story. So that's what hip hop really does. It feels their story.
All right, whoever gets this ball, the last comment.
Put him on the spot.
So yeah, how they were talking about the news and stuff. Like,
Yeah, okay, what, second to last comment.
so how when hip hop really like tells the tells the story of the neighborhood when the artist makes the song, and like when when it goes through the news, they don't really tell the story. They just want to make money, like the writers for the songs.
Thank you for reading.
Okay. So, okay, a couple like people ago, like going back to what Stella said, I got like excited because I made a connection. I think the thing like with Taylor Swift, and then like her genre of music, and then hip hop, I think it's also a cultural thing, because we clearly like it's you portray a different like type of story or like issue in a different like style of music, not to like I don't know, like, cause we all know like things are going on with the police and thing, like the police corruption and violence is mostly between black people. So I think that that's just a way, and even like for black people who make pop music, I think it's just they're able to better like make more meaning out of their music, and if they are speaking on an issue, they're gonna put more into it because white people, sorry, or like I don't mean like to say like that, but they can feel for us, but they can't relate. Yeah, they can't relate, so it's just different.
Okay, it's not gonna be too okay, like I was like, okay, like when she's saying it's like a culture thing, like even during you know, like the slavery time, like that, like songs and dance was like how we stayed connected to our culture.
Like even hair.
Yeah, like it's just like how we stayed connected, and like it's just always gonna be passed through us. Like, yeah.
So, that was the last comment.
Last comment, 5 minutes.
4 for 1?